class instead. So I'm going to suggest that if you have any props, like something like these blocks, that you grab them, because there'll be an opportunity to use them in this evening's practice. If you don't have them, it's totally fine. You could use books or water bottles or something else. Yeah, that works great, Scott. Just something kind of to extend your arms, make your arms a little longer, might make some of the shapes that we make a little bit more accessible tonight. But that being said, there's always modifications and things that we can do if you don't have the props. So if you have them, grab them. If not, that's cool too. So we'll start in a comfortable seat. So you can find your cross-legged position if that works for you. You can always feel free to stretch out one or both legs or start sitting in another position if that works better for you tonight. And then we'll just take a couple shoulder rolls. We're just going to roll the shoulders up, back, and down a few times. And just start to notice if there's any tension that you might have been carrying around with you throughout your day in your neck and shoulders, and see if you can just work to just release it a little bit here. Good, and then we're going to start our meditation here with the shoulders softening down away from the ears. You can go ahead and close your eyes and begin to focus more on your breath. And we are getting some little kind of background noise is happening, and I'm not sure where that's coming from. So I'm just going to make sure I've closed all the other applications I have. Maybe it's just when people are joining. Okay, so from here, we'll just start to begin to arrive on the mat by first just noticing the foundation. So notice the connection of the backs of your legs, the outsides of your ankles, your sit bones as they connect to your yoga mat or whatever prop you might be sitting on. And just see if you can feel as though you're pushing down into that foundation. So there's this rooting effect through the backs of the legs and through the sit bones, and use that to grow a little taller through the crown of your head. And then as we sit up really nice and tall and we have this nice strong foundation, we'll allow the outer shell of the body to soften. So allow all of your facial muscles, your jaw, the space between your brows to soften and settle. You can separate your teeth 1 or 2 millimeters apart so that you physically can't be contracting your jaw. Feel the scalp even soften a little bit. So your ears are a little softer, your neck feels a little longer, the shoulders drop a little heavier down towards the earth. And then notice here that you're breathing into all 4 sides. So not just the chest, not just the front of the body, but all the way down to the root of the belly through both sides and into the back body. And see if you can lengthen and deepen your breath at the same time. And you'll notice that now that the breath is a little more full and a little longer, you can really slow it down. It's almost like you can slow down time here as you sit and breathe. Breathwork is such a powerful tool. It's a great way to bring the nervous system into its rest and digest state, or its parasympathetic state, which is the state when we feel generally at ease, when we feel calm, when we have lots of blood flow going to our abdomen to help us with digestion. And this is the state that helps us to sleep. So see if you can release any kind of weight that you might have been carrying around with you throughout your day, anything that might be looping through your mind. Just set the intention that you're going to put it aside for this next hour and 15 minutes or so. And just know that it'll be there when we finish, but you might not want to pick it up again. So see if you can really just clear this next little bit for your own practice to fill your body with breath and connect your mind and body together. you haven't already, you can start to cultivate just a really gentle sound with your breath. So breathing in and out through the nose if you can tonight, but gently engaging the throat and drawing the breath in really from the base of the throat. So we create that sort of whisper-like sound as the breath draws past the vocal cords. And just notice how good it feels to take a full, deep, uninhibited breath to nourish your body with oxygen, to rid your body of carbon dioxide, which is our metabolic waste product that we blow out through the exhale breath. Good. From here, we're going to start with a gentle neck stretch. So if it feels right, you can just keep your eyes closed. You're going to inhale and sweep your arms wide and up towards the sky. And then lace your fingers together, and you're going to take your hands to the back of your head. You can open your eyes if you don't know what I mean. And then from here, we're going to start to tuck the chin, and we're going to round the upper spine. And the arms aren't pulling or tugging or yanking on the neck at all. They're just bringing a little bit of extra weight. So just the weight of your arms is going to increase this stretch ever so slightly. See if you can pull your low front ribs in and just allow your head to relax forward and just test the waters here. Can you release the weight of your arms? If it's too much, then no problem. You just keep holding your arms up slightly. If it feels okay, you can just relax the weight of your arms, and that will help you to get a deeper stretch down through the back of your neck. Take a couple breaths here. Good. With your next inhale, you're going to slowly sit up. You're going to keep your hands behind your head, and then you're going to take your gaze all the way up towards the sky. Lift your chin, let your head fall back into the support of your hands. Imagine your elbows could lift up, but your armpits could soften down towards the earth. Lift up through your heart, lift up through your gaze, stretch out the throat. Stretch out the chest. Maybe you feel this in your shoulders as well. Just relax your head back. Take 1 or 2 more full breaths here. Good. Next inhale, carefully help your head back to center. Release your arms, and then a couple more of those shoulder rolls, drawing the shoulders up, back, and down. Okay, so we're going to sit just a little longer, but I'm going to suggest that you switch the cross of the legs if that works for you, so you can put your other foot in front. And then we're going to take a side body stretch. So let's inhale, take the right arm up towards the sky. We're going to tip up and over to the left. You can walk your left hand onto the floor beside your yoga mat. You can let that left elbow bend, but push into your left palm so that you get a little fuller and a little bit more of an arc through that right side of the rib cage. Reach out through your right fingertips. Make sure your right palm is facing down to the floor so your right pinky finger spirals forward, and see if you can soften your shoulder a little more away from your ear. Okay, from here, we're going to bend the right elbow. We're going to catch the back of the head. So kind of like we did when we had both hands, but just the right hand will be on the back of the head. And then we're going to take a little movement with breath here. So on the inhale, you're going to peek up towards the sky, lift your elbow up to the sky. And then on the exhale, you're going to round, curl forward, navel to spine, elbow draws down towards that left knee. Good. You're going to inhale, peel it open. And exhale, curl and round, and just follow your own breath if your breath doesn't match my count here. Good. And then once more, we're going to inhale, lift the gaze, lift that right elbow, look up. And then we'll exhale to round, curl forward. And we're just going to hold this shape for a breath or two. Now, again, you can kind of decide, can you fully let the weight of your right arm go so that you get more of that kind of diagonal stretch down the right side of the back and the right side of the neck?
Or if that feels like too much, just ease up. So you're slightly lifting your right arm and you're not using your whole weight to add onto the stretch. Take one more breath, inhale. As you are, exhale. Good, with your inhale, you're gonna come on back up, reach that right arm back up towards the sky. And then on the exhale, we'll twist right hand behind you, left hand across to your right knee. Okay, sitting up nice and tall here again, lift up to the crown of the head, maybe start to look past that right shoulder. And take a few deep breaths into this very first spinal twist. See if you can twist your whole spine, starting at the very base, twisting through the low back, through the mid back, through the upper back, and twisting through the neck as well. Maybe look with your gaze over to the right as far as you can to give your eyes, the muscles around your eyes, a little stretch. Drink in one more full breath, inhale. And exhale to twist a little deeper. Good, and then we'll inhale, come back to center. Again, roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Good, and then let's sweep the left arm up towards the sky. We're gonna tip up and over to the right, walk your right hand wide onto the floor beside you. Okay, and we'll just kind of ease into this. Now you can let your right elbow bend until you start to feel the stretch through your left side, but give yourself a little rebound here by pushing into your right palm. You might notice you get a little bit more of an arc through the left side of your rib cage. And then that left palm turns down to face the floor. So the pinky finger kind of moves towards the top of your mat. And if you're really, if you've really got this rotation through your shoulder, you might even start to turn your palm to face behind you and your pinky finger down towards the floor. Okay, from here, we're gonna let that left elbow bend. We're gonna support, catch the back of the head. Okay, we'll move a little with breath here. So the inhale, elbow and the gaze lifts to the sky. And then on the exhale, we're gonna curl forward. Left elbow draws down towards that right knee, navel to spine. Good, as you inhale, peel it open. And use your full exhale to curl to close. Good, once more following your own breath rhythm, inhale, lift and open up. Good, and then as you exhale again, you're gonna round forward and we're gonna hold this rounded shape. So you can kind of feel here that if you let the weight of that left arm go, you get a pretty significant amount of weight to kind of add on to that stretch. So you'll feel it all the way down the left side of the neck, maybe all the way down the left side of your spine. Good, drink in another breath here, inhale. Exhale. Good, with your inhale, you're gonna sit all the way back up, left arm reaches up to the sky. And then on the exhale, we'll twist left hand behind you, right hand crosses to the left knee. Good, go for length here. So push down into your sit bones, lift up through the crown, and then really work to twist the whole spine, low back, mid back, upper back, neck, and look with your gaze to the left. Even if your eyes are closed, you can still take your gaze over towards the left and still get a nice stretch to those extraocular muscles that move your eyes around in space. And when we move these muscles around, we get more oxygen, more blood flow into the area. And sometimes when we spend all day sitting at our desk and we're just looking in one direction, we don't get as much blood flow to the eyes. Our eyes start to get tired. We might experience eye strain and other problems with the eyes. So just moving your eyes around within their sockets can really help to bring that blood flow to the area. One more breath, inhale for length. Good, exhale to twist. On your inhale, unravel, come on back to center, and just one more time, let's just roll the shoulders a few times, up, back, and down, just already noticing how we're getting a little bit more mobility just from that little bit of work we've done so far. Okay, from here, we're gonna come to all fours. So if you've got a prop, you can take it out from underneath you. You can make your way onto all fours. Sorry, Cleo. And then we had a request for a wrist stretch. So you can either take a regular cat-cow with your palms facing forward, or if you'd like a little bit more of a stretch for your wrists, you can turn. So your fingertips face back towards your knees and your thumb faces wide towards the edge of your mat. And just test it out. If it feels really intense, you might just choose to do one hand at a time. If both hands work and it's a little bit intense, you can just lean slightly more forward. Or if you want to increase, you can draw your hips slightly more back. And then we're going to take a cat-cow here with this wrist stretch. So just know that you won't move as far as you would if your fingers were facing forward. So we'll just go ahead and inhale, drop the belly, lift the seat, lift the gaze. Good, and then on the exhale, you're going to push into your palms, round your spine, tuck your tail, let your head go forward. Good. Again, inhale, moving with your breath to open the front body. The wrists are getting a really good stretch this whole time. And then on the exhale, push into the palms, round the spine, let the head go. Okay, if you're just doing one hand, then you might switch your hands. I always like to give the hand that had a stretch a little shake before doing the other side. So go ahead and switch if you're just doing one hand. If you're doing both, at any point you can decide that you're done with the wrist stretch, or if it feels good, keep going for a few more breaths. Okay, whenever you're ready, we'll inhale back to a neutral spine now, and then let's release the hands. So just one at a time, you can turn your palms to face forward, and then just give each hand a little shake, shake, shake. It's kind of like you're flicking water off of your fingertips. A little shake, shake, shake. Good, from here, we're gonna stand all the way up on our shins. Now, if your knees are a little sensitive, you might wanna put some extra padding underneath your knees. You can take your hands to your hips and you're gonna take your right leg out to the right. Right leg is straight. Your right toes are gonna be parallel with the long edge of your mat. Okay, you're gonna bring your right hand on your right thigh, and then let's inhale, sweep the left arm up to the sky. Take a big breath in. Good, as you exhale, you're gonna tip over towards the right. You're gonna let your right hand slide down your right leg, and here's another great stretch for the side body. So again, that left palm is gonna face down towards the floor. So the pinky finger is gonna roll down. You're gonna stretch out through your fingertips, scoop your tailbone underneath you and draw your hips just a little more forward. Okay, this is a version of gate pose, and I really love this one. You can get just a little deeper than where you got when we were seated. Good, so you might start to take your gaze up underneath your left armpit as long as your neck feels okay with that. And let's take 2 more full breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Good, last one, inhale. And exhale, sink just a little deeper. Good, as you inhale, you're gonna come on back up, bring your arms in a T, and then we're gonna take the left hand down to the floor. Now, if it feels like the floor is really far away and you do have some of these blocks, having a block underneath your hand can kind of extend your arm a little bit, so you may or may not like or need that. And then let's sweep the right arm, pardon me, all the way overhead, turn the right palm to face down towards the floor. Good, scoop your tail, start to drive your hips a little bit more forward, start to lift up through your chest. If you like, you can bend that right elbow, catch the back of your head, lean your head back into your hand, and just enjoy this beautiful side body stretch. Good, we'll take one more full breath as you are, inhale. Good, long exhale. Good, from here, let's reach that right arm back up, and then we're gonna lift all the way back up. We'll keep arms in the T for a moment. And then just as gracefully as you can here, we're gonna step that right leg back, and we're gonna step the left leg wide. Okay, a little bit of balance and stabilization there. Now, if you need something soft for underneath your right knee, you can grab it. And we are gonna be bringing that right hand down to the floor shortly, so you can bring your block over to the other side if you're using a block. We'll start with our gate pose here though. We'll bring the left hand on the left leg, sweep your right arm up towards the sky, drink in a big breath. Good, and then as you exhale, you're gonna tip over to the left, let your left hand slide down your left leg, another stretch for this right side body. Right palm faces down towards the floor, or maybe the pinky finger even spirals down. The shoulder softens down away from the ear. Good, drive your hips slightly more forward, start to lift up a little bit more through your heart and your chest, maybe peek under that right armpit. Good, and then all you need to do is breathe. One more big inhale. Long exhale. Good, with your inhale, come on up, back, arms back up to a T. And then we'll take that right hand down to the earth or down to your wooden block. Good, we're gonna start to reach that left arm up and overhead for our gate pose here. Good, let your left elbow bend, catch the back of your head, lean your head back into your hand. Scoop your tailbone, drive your hips more forward and lean back. Now, if you haven't done yoga in a little while, almost any yoga pose we do is gonna feel really, really good, like a really, really nice stretch. And if you've been practicing yoga regularly, then you might find you don't get quite as much sensation. So it can be really nice to come back when you've had a little break from your yoga practice, just to hold a little longer to really feel all the sensations here. We'll take one more big inhale. Long exhale. Good, and then you're gonna use your strength. You're gonna come on back up, arms back wide in a T, and then let's step that left foot back. Okay, from here, we're gonna sweep the arms up, look up. Good, on the exhale, you're gonna bow forward, hinge from your hips, and we're gonna come all the way down into child's pose. Bring your forehead to the mat. You can stretch your arms back alongside your hips. Now, if you want to take another wrist stretch here, this one is more for the top of the wrist. You can let your elbows bend so that your elbows sort of stack on top of your wrists and you're on the backs of your hands. Now, if you don't know what I mean, just look up and take a look at the screen for a second. And so here, I'm not pushing my hands down into the floor. I'm just letting gravity kind of do the work here to open up the top of the wrist. And this is an odd one. It's probably not for everyone. So you can always kind of test it out, see if it works for you. And if it doesn't, there's lots of other versions of child's pose, but just a nice way to release the top of the wrist. Let's take a couple more breaths here, fully letting the weight of your head go. Good, if you're still doing that wrist stretch, let's release the arms, let's stretch them straight out in front, and we'll just take a couple more resting breaths with the hands reaching forward to the top of the mat, maybe gently rocking your hips side to side. Good. From there, let's push in the palms, look forward. We're going to make our way to our first downward facing dog. So just take your time to get there. And once you arrive, you can take your dog for a walk, especially if you haven't given your dog any attention today or maybe this week, then your dog might feel a little stiff, maybe a little grouchy, and maybe it needs a walk. So you can pedal your feet out, bend one knee and then the other, soften back into your heel. Give your head a little wiggle, make sure that your neck isn't holding on to any tension that you don't need. Really spread your fingers wide apart. Try to root down into your index finger and your thumb and the knuckles of those where they meet with your palm, so that you're really pouring weight into the inner corner of the hand, taking weight out of the heel of the hand or out of the wrist where the carpal tunnel, a really important structure that has a really big nerve for the hand that runs right through it. So we don't want to compress that nerve. So we really want to root into the inner corner of both hands and all 10 of the finger pads. Okay, from here, we're going to walk the hands backwards towards the feet. So slowly walk your hands towards the back of the mat until your heels root and you are in a forward fold at the back of your mat. Good. Generously bend your knees, allow your torso to drape over your legs, and then we're going to lace the hands behind the back of the head. Okay, and then just let gravity kind of help you out here so you can kind of release the weight of your arms, you can release the weight of your torso, and then just feel that really nice stretch through the back of your neck. And then perhaps you give your torso a little sway side to side, or sometimes I kind of give my body a little bounce just to really release whatever might be kind of stuck or sticky in my back body. Okay, from here, we're going to roll up to standing. If it works for you, you're going to keep your hands behind your head. So you're going to pull your belly in, core is really strong, keep your knees bent, and then you're going to ragdoll with your hands behind your head. So that little extra weight on the back of the head, stretch out the back of the neck. Okay, and until you're standing all the way up. And then once you're all the way up, you're going to keep going, look up towards the sky, lean your head back into the support of your hands. Stretch out the front of your neck, push down into your feet, find that foundation. Good, take another big breath. Good, and then help your head back to center, release your hands, roll your shoulders up, back and down. Okay, from here, let's find our standing mountain pose. So feet are hip distance and parallel. Palms are going to turn to face forward, shoulders on the back, micro bend in the knees. Let's inhale, sit the arms wide and up, look up. Good, on the exhale, swan dive, forward fold, come all the way down. We'll take 3 halfway lifts on the inhale. Slide your hands to the shin if they don't reach the earth. As you exhale, soft knees fold. Good, we'll do that twice more. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Good, last one. Inhale, find more length. And exhale to fold. Good, from here, you're going to crawl your hands back to the top of your mat. We're going to find a high plank pose or the top of a push-up, and we're going to hold. If you need a modification, you can drop your knees down towards the earth, no problem. Shoulders soften back and away from the ears. Press down into your palms, core is strong. Pull your navel in towards your spine. Push out through your heels. Good, breathe here. If you want a little challenge, you can lift your right toes, let them hover for 3, for 2, for 1. Carefully, slowly release that right foot. Lift up your left foot if you're with me, let it hover for 3. Good, push out through the heel for 2. For 1, good, lower your left toes. Drop your knees, and then we're gonna slowly lower down onto the belly. Elbows drop back towards the ribs. Good, once you land, untuck your toes at the tops of your feet. Let's take hands wide off the mat, come on spidered fingertips. We'll inhale to a strange cobra. Good, exhale, ripple back down. We'll do that twice more. Inhale to lift. And exhale, release. Good, last one, we're gonna twist this one. We'll inhale to lift. On the exhale, look right, draw the left shoulder forward to any amount. Back to center with your inhale. Good, exhale, twist to the left. Back to center, inhale, go once more on either side if it feels good. Inhale back to center. Good, last time, over to the left. Back to center on the inhale, and then exhale, release all the way down to your belly. Make a little pillow for your head with your hands. Rest your forehead on your hand. Good, bend your knees so they come up towards the sky, and then do a little windshield wiper with your feet back and forth. Good, from there, stretch your legs long on the mat once more. Take your palms under your shoulders. We're gonna push back up through all fours and back to downward facing dog. Now again, you can continue to walk your dog out here or take a little sway of your hips from side to side. And continue to breathe, check in with your hands. Can you really press into your palms? Can you tilt your sit bones a little higher up towards the sky so your low back draws into its natural inward curve? Can you do all those things and maintain your full deep breath, right? The breath is really the most important part. The breath is the meditation. So can you find your meditation here even as we move? Okay, again, we're gonna walk the hands back towards the feet. All the way till you're at the back of the mat until your heels root. Good, once you arrive, you can generously bend your knees, and then once more, let's lace the hands behind the back of the head. Take the opposite cross of your hands, so other point your fingers on top. Okay, and then just a couple breaths here, just allowing your torso to surrender over your legs with that little extra weight from your arms. You can always give your torso a little sway from side to side, or give yourself kind of a little bounce just to further release any little bits of tension you might be still carrying through your back. Okay, again, we're going to stand up from here. So keep that bend in your knees, keep your core strong, keep your hands laced behind the back of your head. Just curl your way up nice and slow. Once you arrive standing, keep your hands where they are and look up to the sky, lean your head back into the support of your hands. Good, lift up through your heart. Take another breath here. Good, and then help your head forward, carefully release your arms, and let's roll the shoulders up, back and down. Okay, while we're here, let's take a standing balancing pose. So let's balance on the left leg. So lift and spread the left toes, root them back down. Engage that whole leg. And then let's bring the right knee in towards the chest. And then we're gonna help that right ankle from the inside to connect with the upper inner thigh. Tree pose, Vrikshasana. Okay, now if your foot starts to slide down and it's pushing into the side of your knee, then you can just slide it all the way down to your shin. And if you really feel like balance just isn't happening for you today, you could always touch your right toes to the earth, bring your right heel just above your inner ankle, and then you're a little more grounded. So find a variation that works for you and then see if you can really find the midline. So your foot and your leg will hug together. Bring your palms into prayer and your palms will hug towards one another. As you push your palms together, feel how that allows you to soften your shoulders more onto your back. You want to pull the right knee back, but the right hip forward so that the hip stays square, but the right knee is wide. Okay, if you want to add on, maybe you reach your arms up towards the sky. Palms can stay together, or you can separate them to shoulder distance apart with the palms facing one another. Good. Imagine you could lift up your torso up and out of your hips and stretch and spread through all 10 of your fingertips. Good. And then keep breathing here. And finally, last little cherry on top. Maybe you take your drishti point or your gaze point up to the ceiling. You find just a little bit of a heart opener or a back bend here. And if you lose your balance, no problem. You just come right back. Soft shoulders lifting through the heart. Take one more big inhale. Good. As you exhale, look forward, bring your palms back in prayer. Good. And then just as gracefully as you came in, we're going to come out. We're going to lift that right leg. And then we're going to replace the right foot and then give the left leg just a little shake, just a little release. And then we'll do the other side. Okay, so balancing this time on the right leg. Lift and spread your right toes and really root your right foot. You can take your hands to your hips. So we're going to lift the left knee into the chest. Then with your left hand, you're going to help from the ankle to your upper inner thigh. Vrikshasana, tree pose on the other side. Now just remember, if that foot wants to slide down, you just really don't want to be pushing your foot right into the side of your knee joint. So you can just slide it down to your shin, or you can always bring your big toes to the earth and your heel just above your inner ankle. So you find that place that works for you today, and then you find the midline. So the midline is really how we balance. So we're going to squeeze our foot and our leg together. We're going to bring our palms together in prayer and hug the palms towards one another. So when we kind of push down, we're grounding, we're rooting into the earth. That allows us to grow a little taller. So see what happens if you just really push down into your standing leg. See if maybe you grow a couple more millimeters. Press into the palms so that the shoulders soften onto the back. And then if it feels right, you can reach your arms for the sky. Good. Palms together or shoulder distance apart, your choice. Good. And then keep breathing those nice full deep breaths. Left knee draws back, left hip draws slightly forward so that we're stretching out the groin here. The hips stay level with the front of the mat. Okay, again, you're just really thinking of your torso lifting up and out of your hips, and maybe you want to take your drishti point or your gaze point up towards the ceiling. Maybe you find a little dot on your ceiling. Good, and if you lose it, no problem. You just go back to wherever you were before. Okay, see what happens to your balance when you look up towards the sky. Can you maintain it? Does it shift? Does it change? Keep hugging the midline. Take one more big breath in. Good. On the exhale, bring your palms back to heart center. Look forward once more. Good. And then slowly, gracefully, we're going to come out, left knee in towards the chest. Good. And then left foot back down on the floor. And then just go ahead and shake out that standing leg, maybe both legs. So balancing is a really good way to strengthen all of the little supporting muscles in the ankle that help us to balance. So it's a really important part of healing if you've ever like rolled your ankle or anything like that and you want to build that stability back. Really good for the nervous system as well. Okay, so again, we're standing at the back of the mat. Let's take a little micro bend in the knees. Let's inhale, sweep the arms wide enough. Good, we'll exhale, swan dive, forward fold, come on down, nice long spine. Take a halfway lift, inhale. Good, exhale, fold. Good, now you're gonna walk your hands back to the top of your mat, coming back into that plank pose, top of your push-up. Pause in your plank. Okay, we're gonna just really work our cores a little bit here. So you're gonna stay steady. If you need a modification, please lower your knees. You can lower your forearms as well if your wrists don't like this one. Okay, if you want to challenge, let's lift the left ankle first. We're gonna hold that left foot lifted for 5. Good, for 4, press out through your heel, keep your hips level for 3, for 2, for 1, good, release your left foot. Lift your right foot just a couple inches just to hover, push out through the heel. Steady here for 5, for 4, try to keep your hips really level for 3, for 2, for 1, good, release your right foot, lower your knees, and then let's slowly lower down to the mat, elbows drop back towards the ribs. Good, once you land, untuck your toes or the tops of your feet. Let's do it again. Let's take the hands wide off of the mat. We'll take strange cobra again. We'll inhale to lift the chest. Good, exhale, release. Following your own breath, we'll do 3 again. Inhale to lift. Exhale, release. Last one again, we're gonna twist, but we'll go left first this time. So we'll inhale to lift. On the exhale, look left, draw your right shoulder forward. Good, back to center, inhale. Exhale, twist to the right. Back to center, inhale. Good, once more to either direction, stretching out your spine, twisting for your digestion, for your nervous system. Back to center, inhale. Good, exhale, release all the way down to your belly. Again, make yourself a little pillow by stacking your hands, rest your forehead on your hands. And then just take a full resting breath here, allowing everything to settle and soften into the earth. Give your hips a little sway from side to side. Good, from there, let's take palms under the shoulders, and then we're on the way back to downward facing dog. So you might go through all 4s, or you might do kind of like a reverse push-up and then lift your hips up and back. Your choice, I'll leave it up to you. We'll meet in downward dog. Then again, you've got a few breaths to enjoy in your dog, whether you're gonna pedal your feet out a little more, sway your hips from side to side, or perhaps you're ready for stillness. Just try to really listen to your own body and honor what it is that your body is asking for tonight, because your body is wise. Good, from here, let's walk the big toes together all the way to touch. We're gonna inhale, stretch the right leg up towards the sky, hips nice and square. Good, on the exhale, big step forward to the top of the mat. You're gonna keep your, or lower your back knee, pardon me, all the way down. And then we're gonna come up into a low lunge. So let's inhale, sweep the arms up. Good, palms face one another. Exhale, soften the shoulders down away from the ears. Okay, come a little deeper into your lunge as you pull your right hip back. Good, and then breathe here, just starting to release and stretch out that back hip flexor muscle. Good, soften through the jaw, soften through the shoulders. We'll take one more big breath, inhale. Good, exhale. Good, from there, we're gonna release the hands down towards the earth on either side. And then we're gonna lift the back knee up. Now we're gonna take an open twist here. So the left hand will stay rooted either on fingertips, or if you have your block, you might use your block. And we're gonna inhale and stretch the right arm up towards the sky. Okay, so we're in a nice open twist here. Right knee is bent, right arm reaches up towards the sky. Good, draw both of your shoulders onto your back. Good, and then let's take just a couple big circles with that right arm. So you're gonna stretch it back towards your back leg. Sweep it down by the floor, around and up. And just to explore a few circles here, finding the range of motion through your right shoulder joint. Do just one more nice big circle. And then let's reach that right arm back up towards the sky. Now from here, we're gonna roll to the inner blade of the back foot, and we're gonna roll to the outer blade of that front right foot. And you're just gonna kind of roll yourself open into this sort of modified Vashisthasana. Good, lift your hips a little higher, reach out through those right fingertips, maybe reach your right arm overhead, right palm faces down. Take a big inhale. Good, on the exhale, you're gonna take that right hand and reach it towards the back of your mat as you dip your hips low. So a little stretch through the left outer side here. Good, keep rooting down into that left hand, keep reaching through the crown of the head. Take another big breath here into your left side, inhale. Good, on the exhale, you're gonna lift your hips up, you're gonna pivot your right hand down towards the floor, and then heel toe your right foot to the middle of your mat. You're gonna step your back foot on a 45-degree angle and one foot up your mat so that you're in pyramid pose now. Okay, now if you have some blocks, you might use your blocks, both blocks, on their short or their tall setting or wherever you need them for your pyramid pose. And if you don't have blocks, but you can't reach the floor, then just bend your knee a little bit, no problem. Okay, let's take a nice big halfway lift to inhale. And then on the exhale, we're gonna fold over that right leg. Okay, big hamstring stretch here. Now we're gonna work the spirals in the legs here. So there's two spirals that are happening in both legs and they're the opposite. So in that front right leg, you're gonna push into your right big toe mound. So that's an inner spiral. But then the right hip is gonna draw back. The thigh bone's gonna roll out. So that's an outer spiral. Okay, now we have the opposite in the back leg. So we're gonna roll the back left thigh in, but we're gonna roll that outer blade of the back foot out into an outer spiral. And if I lost you there, just don't worry about it. Good, let the weight of your head go. Just let yourself kind of start to settle and bow over your right leg. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Good, with your next inhale, you're gonna halfway lift, look forward. Soften your front knee, lift your back heel, and then lightly step up to the top of your mat. Good, wiggle your feet back to hip distance in parallel. If you have a block, you can take it underneath your face on a short or tall setting. We're gonna do a couple little twists here. So let's take the left hand on the block. We're gonna inhale the right arm up towards the sky. Now you're gonna bend your left knee. Okay, reaching up through those right fingertips. Seeing if you can really get the shoulders on your back. The more you bend your left knee, the more stretch you're gonna get through your right hip. Right leg works towards straight, drinking 1 more big inhale. Good, as you exhale, we're gonna release and we're gonna switch. So right hand to the block. Left arm reaches up towards the sky. Start to bend your right knee as you work your left leg straight. And then you can kind of feel that really nice stretch through your left outer hip. Shoulders on the back. Twist from a nice long spine, reach forward through the crown of the head. Good, take 1 more big inhale. Good, as you exhale, release, you're gonna bow over your legs. And then we'll ragdoll up to standing. So if you like that variation where you catch the back of your head, you're welcome to do that here. Or maybe you just let your arms dangle this time. And we're just gonna slowly curl our way up. Good, once you stand up, you can just find your standing mountain pose, close your eyes, take a breath, feel, take some water if you need it. Okay, let's close the eyes. Let's heel toe the feet together to touch. Little space between the heels. Lift all 10 of your toes, spread them out, root them back down. And then we're going to sit into an imaginary chair. So palms in prayer. Start to sit your hips low. And find your breath here. And with each inhale, your spine gets a little longer. With each exhale, you sit a little deeper into your imaginary chair, Utkatasana. You're going to squeeze your inner thighs together. You're going to sit a little lower. Good. Maybe you want to challenge yourself. Maybe you want to add the arms as long as the shoulders don't complain. Good. Palms turn to face one another. Sit a little lower. Steady here for 3, for 2, for 1. Good. Fold over your legs.
On the inhale, take a halfway lift.
On the exhale, we're going to step back to downward dog. Right leg leads.
So right leg and then left leg, and we're in downward dog. Okay, let's take a nice flow here. Let's inhale forward to plank.
Slow and steady. We'll exhale on lower half or all the way. Good. Inhale to a back bend. Cobra or maybe up dog if you're feeling warm enough. Good. And then let's exhale child's pose. We'll take a little breather before we do those lunges on the other side.
So your choice for child's pose, you could keep your arms stretching forward, or you could reach your arms back. If you know anything, any other versions of child's pose, you're welcome to go there to just really make this your own, to own it. And this part when we rest, it's just as important as the part when we're working really hard, right? This is for the nervous system. See if you can really truly allow your body to rest here. See if you can release the grip of your muscles on your bones. And see if you can fully surrender for one more breath. Okay, from here, let's just slowly make your way back to downward facing dog. Downward dog again, you can pedal your feet out a little, sway your hips side to side. Just take a moment to just really establish your downward dog again. Perhaps you're ready, your body's ready for some stillness. You just test it out, feel and breathe. Okay, let's walk big toes together to touch. On the inhale, carefully lift your left leg up towards the sky, keeping your hips nice and square. On your exhale, big step forward to the top of your mat, lower your back knee down. Good, let's come on up to our low lunge with the arms up. Turn the palms to face one another, and then on your exhale, just find that nice soft relaxation through the shoulders. Okay, we'll start here with our first few breaths. You can settle your hips a little more forward as you pull your left hip back. Find a softness through your jaw and your facial expression. And then again, find that rooting down. So push down into your back knee and your front heel and lift up a little taller through the chest. Lift through your fingertips, maybe look up towards the sky. Couple more breaths. And go, one more big inhale. On the exhale, you're going to sweep your hands down to frame your front foot. Tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee up off of the mat. And then again, you might like a block for underneath that right hand, or you could be on a flat hand or spider fingertips, and we're going to inhale the left arm up to the sky. So we're taking our nice open twist here. You're going to keep pushing out through your back heel, keep bending into your front knee, try to stack it over your ankle. And then let's explore a few circles with that left arm. So it's going to reach back towards the back of the mat. It's going to swoop down by the floor, forward and back up. And just test out your range of motion here. You might remember back to when we did this on the other side and notice if it feels similar or maybe a little different. And we'll do 3 big arm circles. And then after the third one, you can stay right here, or again, you can roll onto the outer blade of the back foot. I guess it's the outer blade of the front foot too. So outer blade of both of your feet, and you're going to roll the left side of your body on top of the right for this modified Vashisthasana here. Then go ahead and reach your left arm overhead, turn your palm to face down, lift your hips a little higher, big stretch, big inhale. Good, on the exhale, then you're going to sit your hips down towards the earth. They might not go all the way down as you reach your left hand towards the back of your mat, and we get this really juicy stretch through the right side waist. Keep lifting up through the crown of your head, breathe here. One more full breath, inhale. Long exhale. Okay, and then lift your hips back up, sweep that left arm overhead. Good, bring your hands back to either side of your front foot. You can wiggle your front foot to the center of your mat. Step your back foot 1 foot up and turn your back foot on a 45-degree angle coming into your pyramid pose. Okay, again, you might want some blocks. If the floor feels really far away, grab your wooden blocks from underneath your hands. You can set them up on whatever setting makes sense for you. We'll take a halfway lift to inhale. We'll pull the left hip back to square the hips. And then exhale, bow over your front leg. See if you can let the weight of your head go. Just enjoying this really nice hamstring stretch here. And then I'm just gonna go through those spirals in the legs again, but if this doesn't make sense or it just feels too overwhelming, then you just tune me out for the next minute or so here. So the spirals come from Anusara, which is one specific type of yoga. And the spirals kind of help us to find alignment in the body. So we're gonna root into the left front big toe mound. That's an inner spiral. And then the left thigh is gonna roll out through an outer spiral. So see if you can do that at the same time. You think of rolling your left hip out. You can even actually grab it with your left hand and roll it out, but then root your left big toe mound. And then the back leg is doing the opposite. So the back upper thigh is gonna roll in, and the outer blade of the foot you're gonna push into for an outward spiral in below the knee on that right leg. Good, let's take one more big breath. Inhale. Long exhale. Good, with your next inhale, halfway lift, look forward. Bend into your front knee, lift your back heel, and then lightly step up to the top of your mat. Good, wiggle your feet back to hip distance, grab a block if you have one, place it in the center underneath your face. Take your right hand on that block. Good, you're gonna bend your right knee and inhale your left arm up to the sky. Okay, on this side, we're gonna do a few back and forth. So we'll inhale to open and we'll exhale to switch. Okay, inhale. Left knee bends, right arm reaches up towards the sky. And exhale to release. And if this feels good, just do a few rounds back and forth. If not, you can just hang out in your forward fold and we'll all meet there. I'm just moving a little slower tonight, doing lots of forward folds. The weather's gotten a little cooler, so it kind of makes sense for a little bit more of a contractive practice where we're folding forward into ourselves. I find that when it gets really nice out, I'm more inspired to do back bends and heart openers, and this kind of slightly cooler weather that we've gotten has turned me a little more introspective. Okay, so we want to end with the right arm reaching up so that we're about even on both sides, and then we'll bow over the legs. We're going to ragdoll up to standing again. Again, you can lace your hands behind your head if you like that variation, or you can let your arms just dangle here. We'll come up extra slow. Just milking that stretch down the back line. Then once you arrive again, you can find your standing mountain pose. Palms turn to face forward, just close your eyes, feel breathing. Good, from here, let's open the eyes. Let's heel toe the feet together to touch. So we're gonna come into our second round of chair pose. Bring your palms together in prayer, and then let's sit the hips low into this nice imaginary chair, Utkatasana. See if you can sit a little lower and look forward. Make sure you can see your toes. If your toes are hidden by your knees, you need to send more weight back into your heels. Okay, sit a little lower, engage your core, lift your pelvic floor, pull your low belly in and up. Maybe go ahead and reach your arms up to the sky, palms again face one another, sit a little lower. Feel your thighs start to really work to hold you here, sit even lower. Maybe close your eyes, soften your facial expression. Let's take 3 more breaths. Good, last one, inhale. Exhale, sit a little lower. Good, last inhale here. And then on the exhale, fold over your legs, bow forward. Take a halfway lift, inhale. And then we'll step back to downward dog. Left leg leads this time, one step and then the other leg. Okay, let's take a slow flow here. Let's inhale forward to plank. Exhale, slowly lower half or all the way, moving at your own pace. Inhale to your back bend.
Good. Let's exhale back again, child's pose. Let's take a little breather. Let yourself settle. Notice here if there's anywhere in your body where you're kind of holding or gripping onto any little bit of tension that perhaps you can find a little bit more release with your next exhale. Sometimes a really gentle rock of the hips from side to side can help to facilitate this. Good, and then from here, let's come up slowly to sitting on the shins. So you can push into your palms, round your spine. Just come up nice and slow. And then once you get up, you can lean onto one hip and stretch your legs out in front. Take your hands behind you for some support and give your legs a good shake, shake, shake. And then make some circles with your ankles. Good, and then some circles the other way. And then let's take a seated forward fold. I'm going to do Baddha Konasana with the feet together and the knees wide. But you're free to take Paschimottanasana with your legs straight or a little bend in your knees, or you're free to take your legs wide if you prefer. And we'll take a bit of a longer hold here, so you can really give yourself some time to kind of settle and soften into this one. So we'll start to round forward, but you want to just kind of come to that first edge, that first place where you start to feel a little bit of resistance in your body. And then just pause there and just kind of melt into that stretch. Sometimes I like this one where I actually use my elbows on my shins. So the elbow is just kind of below the knee joint. So you want to be off any kind of bony parts, and you want to be more like the kind of pointy part of your elbow is in kind of the soft fleshy bit just underneath your knee on the inside of your shin bone. Okay, and then you can just use your body weight to help to open your knees a little wider. You can allow your spine to round forward. You can let the weight of your head go. Good, and then just breathe here. Just really noticing what comes up for you when you slow the breath down. When you slow down your busy thoughts, right? We're multitaskers. We're constantly trying to do it all at once. So is it a struggle for you to slow down and to feel like you might not be accomplishing something right at this moment? I know for a lot of the sort of type A personalities, like you're go, and you want to do it all. But see that you can really get a lot of benefit from slowing down, from being present, from connecting with your body. Notice if perhaps that bit of sensation has turned down a little bit, and maybe your body's inviting you to settle a little deeper into your fold, maybe come a little further forward. Just allow yourself the space and time here to ease into this one. Come into our last few really full deep breaths here. So maybe you soften and settle just a little deeper for 3 more of the deepest breaths you've taken yet today.
And see if you can really send your breath into where you feel the sensation in your body. And then after your third breath, if you feel ready, you can start to make your way out of this shape. Using your hands for some support, you can push into the palms around your spine and just let your head come up very last. Cool. When it does, use your hands to help your knees back up. Walk your feet wider to the edges of your mat. Take your hands behind you once more for support, and then let's do a little windshield wiper with the knees side to side. Good, and then from here, we're going to make our way all the way down onto our back. So you can just kind of help yourself all the way down onto your back. And then pull your knees into your chest. Place one hand on each knee and make some circles with your knees. And circle the other direction. And then we're going to come into a plow pose. So if you are unfamiliar with plow, then you might like to sit up and just watch me for a second. If you know plow, then I'm going to walk you through it. So sometimes a wall can be a nice way to kind of help yourself up into your plow. So if you do have a wall or a couch or something, you can set yourself up so your hips are close to it, and then you can push your feet into it. If you don't, you're just going to pull your knees into your chest, and you can even do like a few little rolls, and then you're going to get your hips up and support your low back. Now, if you're using your couch, you can just push your feet into your couch and then support your low back. And then you can pull your knees in one at a time. So this is kind of like shoulder stand, but instead of stretching the legs up towards the sky, we're going to start to stretch the legs overhead for Halasana plow pose. Now, you really want to try not to look around too much when you're in this shape, because your neck is a little bit vulnerable. You want to make sure that the weight is in the shoulders, though not in the neck. Okay, you can slowly let your feet start to come overhead, and maybe your feet come and touch the earth. Now, we've done lots of forward folds, so we're nice and warmed up for this one. So your feet might touch the earth or they might not, and that's okay. If your feet do touch the earth, you can wiggle your shoulders underneath you a little bit more. You might lace your hands, and you might stretch your arms all the way straight and then push into your knuckles. Okay, once you get there, you're just going to breathe. You're going to know that you have the power to come out of this a little earlier than the rest of us if you feel like you need to. And sometimes this pose can feel a little overwhelming. We're really, really close to ourselves here. It's a really big forward fold. One of my favorite poses. Now, if you like, from here, you could come into what's called sensation cutoff pose by bending your knees. So you get one knee on either side of your head, and then you hug your knees in, and you can basically block off your ears so you can kind of tune me out if I'm talking too much. You can even close your eyes and then take a few more breaths here. When you are ready to come out, you're gonna bring your knees, keep your knees in your chest, bring your heels to your bum. Use your hands for support to just kind of slowly lower yourself all the way back down onto your mat. You can walk your feet a little wider and let your knees knock in towards one another so that you're in a constructive rest shape here. Place one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. Breathe into both hands. And so we will take fish pose as a counter pose to plow. So you can heel toe your feet together. You're gonna roll to the left, tuck your right arm underneath you. Palm faces down, you're gonna roll onto your right arm, tuck your left arm underneath you. Again, palm faces down, so the thumbs are together. The arms are straight and we're laying on the arms. Now, if you have anything going on in your shoulders or your wrists and this just doesn't work, you can take your arms alongside your body, no problem. Okay, from there, we're gonna straighten out the legs. Flex the toes up towards the sky. Okay, from here, we're gonna push into the forearms. We're gonna start to lift up the heart and then lean onto the back of the head. Okay, you might come right up onto the crown of your head. Or you might even lift off so your head is kind of hovering and your shoulder blades hug together to create a little shelf for the neck. You can just drop your head all the way back. When you're ready to come out of this one, you just start to tuck your chin, just come out the way you came in until you're laying on your back, and then you can roll and release your arms out from underneath you. Walk your feet a little wider and then just relax here on your back, little mini Shavasana. And if this feels right, if this feels like you're done and you're ready to just stay and rest, you're more than welcome to do that. I'm going to give you guys one more twist here just to kind of complete this practice. So if you'd like just a nice long rest, you don't have to move. If you're with me for one more twist here, then we'll pull the right knee into the chest. We'll lace the hands around the shin and then start with just a couple pumps. Just pump your right knee in towards your heart. Good, and then we'll twist. We'll take that right knee over to the left. You can kind of push into your foot on the way and scoot your hips more to the right, and then let your right knee fall to the left. Now, if this feels like it's way too intense, you could get a prop or use your left hand as a prop. You could make a fist to rest your knee on your fist, or a higher prop to rest your knee, or you could just bend both of your knees and take a 2-knee twist. Left hand is going to rest on top of that right thigh, and then your right hand can come at your side with your palm facing up, or you can stretch it out into a T or up into a cactus shape for the deepest kind of stretch through the pec. And then you're going to look over your right shoulder to complete the twist. Okay, let's breathe and soften and settle into the twist. And take one more full breath on this side. Good, and then with your next inhale, head back to center first. Consciously connect to your core, use that to unravel. You can plant your feet, level out your hips, and then we'll stretch the right leg long, pull the left knee into the chest, lace your hands around your shin. You might take opposite, point your finger on top, and then just start with a few pumps, just pumping that left knee in towards your heart and towards your chest. This is a nice one for the digestive tract, for the large intestine here. Just giving it a nice little squeeze, a nice little stimulation. Good, and then when you're ready, let's bring that left knee over towards the right. You might scoot your hips up over to the left on the way. The right hand can gently guide your left knee over, and you can use it as your own prop, as a little fist for that little support for your knee, or you can take a block or bolster or something under your knee, or bend both knees if you would prefer a 2-knee twist. Okay, if your knee comfortably comes all the way down to the earth, the right hand can be a little bit of a weight, kind of anchoring it down. Let's take the left hand at the side, palm facing up, or you could start to take your left arm wider into a T or into a cactus shape. And then let's complete by looking over that left shoulder, twisting the whole spine. And enjoy one more full and complete breath here in this twist. And then let your head come back to center first. Consciously use your core to come out of this shape. Level out your feet. Use your feet to level out your hips. And sometimes I like to push into my feet, lift my hips up, and do a little rock side to side with my hips. So you can try that one out if you like. And then from here, we'll make our way into our final resting position, Shavasana. You can stretch your legs out, stretch your arms out, turn your palms to face up. Now, a bolster underneath your knees, if you have one, can be a really nice kind of treat for the low back. So just go ahead and make sure you're really comfortable. Grab a sweater or a blanket if you're starting to cool down. Ideally, we want to stay warm as we rest. We want to maintain the heat that we've created through the practice. Get any little wiggles or fidgets out of the way so that you can lay here still for the next few minutes to fully integrate and assimilate all of your hard work, all of your efforts tonight. Just enjoying these last few minutes of a conscious relaxation. So try to remain awake, even if you're starting to feel sleepy. If you are, you just watch that sensation. Allow yourself to settle, feel heavy and supported by the earth below you.
And take a deep breath into your belly. Let it go with a sigh. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. And gently rock your head from side to side. And you might choose to take a big stretch here, reaching your arms overhead, stretching out through your toes. Or you might prefer to curl yourself into a little ball. Just move like you. How do you like to release and wake up from your Shavasana? You can carefully make your way over onto one side. Let your bottom arm be a pillow to rest your head. And when you feel good and ready, you can push into your top hand and help yourself back up to your seat. And we'll just meet as we began in seated meditation. Rest your palms on your thighs, close your eyes. Take one last final check-in. Just noticing any persistent thoughts or emotions that may have come up during your practice. And draw your palms together at heart center. And humbly bow your chin down towards your chest in gratitude for your healthy body and your yoga practice. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Namaste. If you have any questions, you can unmute yourself. I guess we're officially done class, so I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And yeah, if you have any questions, pop on.